Okay, we're back for more of these Freight Grand Order. Avalon Lefay, continuing on. Section 18, I'll be on. Alright. There's a tree of emptiness over on the far shore. So this is the Lake District. Damn, this tree of emptiness must have been huge, even compared to the others we've seen so far. So this is the tree that withered away 2,000 years ago. And that Morgon then burned down to destroy the tree of emptiness in Olympus a few months ago. Hey, Sopras. Otoya still hasn't cheered up. What's going on with her? Is this your first time to the Lake District, Artoria?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I was just thinking. Oh, this is the famous Lake District. It, sure is as pretty as a picture, isn't it? Also, just as quiet. Did I mention quiet?
Damn, you have no poker face at all, do you? You obviously still think about what Vargas told us, right? Don't keep it to yourself. Is this barrel actually Morgan's master, huh? That is the question. So of course, the real question might be, is Morgan actually a servant? It's a hell of a conundrum, that's for sure. Sopras and I have been going back and forth trying to square that circle ever since we got here. At first I thought Morgan was the king of this Lostbelt. Same. I mean, she pretty much have to be if she's been ruling here for 2,000 odd years. But after meeting Morgan and Beryl in Camelot... You mean when Beryl said he was Morgan's master and she didn't deny it? So Morgan's not Beryl's servant, but Beryl is Morgan's master. That's a brain buster, ain't it? I don't even know where to begin. Any ideas as to how that could work, Da Vinci? I'm afraid not. There's just too little information to work with. If Holmes were here, he could string a number of theories together in a plausible hypothesis. But he's not. What about you, Artoria? Did you come up with anything?
I do have one idea, I think. I remember what you said about masters and servants, and the kind of things Chaldea's done so far. But I'd rather not think about it any more than that. If I'm right, then Morgan would be impossible for you to beat. I feel you'd rather not even fight at all if you don't have to. Habitat? What's wrong with not wanting to fight her? Who says you have to try and beat her no matter what? Chaldea's goal is to quiet Morgan's Rongomeniad, and the Child Prophecy's goal is to ring the 6 bells. Trust me, I heard Einzel's Child Prophecy poem in Londinium enough to last a lifetime. And there's not a single verse in there about killing the queen. But Morgan herself told me to defeat her. Did she now? She's just playing everyone's antagonist because she doesn't dare trust anyone anymore. But I'm not saying more than that. All I care about is Mash and Sopras finally being reunited. You can't go around trying to please everyone else all the time. Sometimes, you've just gotta tell them to piss off.
No more chit-chat. We've already got a few more headed our way. You remember Vargas warning, Sopras? Good. Then don't hold back. We're all counting on your firepower to get us through this.
Mada 未熟者ですが頑張ります。いい判断です。圧倒します。慈悲神戸を垂れよ。恐怖は希望もな何人も通るにあたわず。早炊きですよ。早炊きですよ。カルウェルの声です。 よく言いました。そう、いいでしょう。私の足元で許しを乞いなさい。落ちよ、ロードレス・キャメロット。
Oh shit. Mysterious biological weapon.
単純に終わらないさっどこから潰してきた。早書きですよ、カルウェイ。あまり悩ませない。もちろんね、よく言いました。ここでまっすぐ逃がすものか。アコール。
Okay. I hate it.
やります。下がっている。目を背けないで。輝きを逃がすものか。
Thank you.
目を背けないで。そう、いいでしょう。私の足元で許しを乞いなさい。落ちよ、ロードレス・キャメロット。魔女ですの。アコーラ。光栄の私、本気です。当然とはいえ嬉しいものですね。皆さんのおかげです。
Moving on. That last monster was certainly new for Britain. Nope, that woman's gotta be nearby. What does she think this is? A vacation? Looks like it's going to take us at least a full day to make it through the Lake District and get to the North Coast. I don't think we'll make it more than halfway today. We should look for a forest where we can make camp before nightfall. Say, Habitat, do you maybe know this area? You said you were originally from the north, right? Well, yeah, I guess. This place hasn't changed in forever, so I at least know it better than the south. Why do you ask, Da Vinci? You want a history lecture from old Habitat? If you could, that'd be great. We never heard much about the Lake District down south. Gotcha. Okay then, but just until sunset. Long ago, Britain used to be way smaller. Back then, this area was all ocean. At the time, Britain was the only landmass in the world. At least, the fairies thought so. So they worked to expand the isle. Then one day, when they expanded up to where Manchester is now, they noticed there was a forest on the far shore. That was this place, the British Lostbelt Lake District. A forest in the middle of the ocean. That's where the Northern Fairies come from. They've been living off the fruits of that forest all that time.
The Northern Fairies? So they were Knock-Knock Riaba's ancestors.
Yup. The 6 clans and the Northern Fairies have totally separated lineages. Anyway, back in Fey Era 6000. I guess that'd be 8,000 years ago. Britain had its very first war. In it, the Northern and Southern Fairies fought each other. Nowadays, it's only known as the War of Spring. It happened when the Northern Fairies got jealous of all the land the Southern Fairies had, and crossed the sea to invade it. But even though their leader was super strong, on average, the Northern Fairies were still weaker than the Southern ones. Back then, there were no humans on the Northern Fairy side. Only the Southern Fairies kept humans. So the war ended with the Southern Fairies' victory. Apparently, it was a total massacre. Whenever the Northern Fairies' successors were born, the Southern Fairies would just kill them on the spot. That's where they got all the bodies they needed to fill in the ocean up to the Lake District. They killed so many Northern Fairies that eventually newer generations stopped being born altogether. What happened to the Northern Fairies after that? Everyone thought they'd gone extinct, but nope. It turned out they were still alive. The leader of the Northern Fairies was made of much sterner stuff than any fairy from the 6 clans. Well, they weren't called the 6 clans back then, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the Northern Queen escaped, left the Lake District, and went on to make the Western Island all by herself out in the middle of the empty sea.
The Western Island, Ireland, became a legendary island that no one could see, but it existed all the same. It became the final hope for fairies who were exiled from Britain, a sort of last bastion of castaways. Later on, there'd be another war between the North and the South called the War of Summer. But that has nothing to do with the Lake District, so I'll just skip that one. Anyway, after that first war, the War of Spring, the Southern fairies claimed the Lake District for themselves and began developing the civilization even further. The fairies that would go on to become the Mirror Clan, and the fairies from Britain's northmost area that would go on to become the Rain Clan, each built thriving cities here. Though of course, as you can see, they've long since been wiped out.
Not sure thriving is the word I used then. Then again, the idea of a single country enduring for more than 1,000 years doesn't really fit for us non-Brits in the first place.
Morgan's Fairy Britain has lasted for more than 2,000 years, remember? Of course, you can't really call it thriving either, since it hasn't advanced any all that time. The Rain Clan. I see. Britain's skies are always cast in twilight, so it makes sense that there would have been fairies who control the rain and our other weather. But why did the Rain Clan go extinct? Did it disappear naturally, or? I'll tell you once we get to Orkney. All you need to know for now is that the Rain Clan and their city, Orkney, were destroyed in Fae Era 4000.
So, 6,000 years ago then.
Now I see. So that's why Ireland's nowhere to be found. The Northern fairies must be of Irish descent. And the only Northern fairy to survive the War of Spring was their queen. But then, what happened to the Western Island? Why is that gone too? Why do you think? Because the Northern fairies migrated to Britain, of course! Mab made that island to keep the fairies safe. She took it all back to herself just before she invaded the British Isle. That was the War of Summer, back in Fae Era 2000. Aeas the Savior and the First Tamlin fought in it too. And you guys wouldn't believe how strong Queen Mab was. After their failure in the War of Spring, the Northern fairies coexisted with humans in Ireland for 4,000 years. The Southern fairies only saw humans as tools for producing entertainment. The Northern fairies, though, they saw humans as partners, and together they built a real civilization. So even though the Southern fairies had the numbers advantage, the Northern fairies were still overwhelmingly stronger. At first, Queen Mab wanted to wipe out the Southern fairies as payback for what they did to the Northern ones. But eventually, Aeas managed to broker a peace between the two sides. As part of the deal, the Northern fairies ceded the north part of Britain as their territory, and welcomed to the fold as a king clan. That's when the 6 clans we have now first came about. The rest, you guys already know. Anyway, with that kind of bad blood between them, it's no wonder the fairies of the North and South still don't get along even in the era of the High Queen, right?
Honestly, I'm having a little trouble keeping all this straight.
Basically, all you have to remember is that there was a big battle between the clans in the last year of the Fae Era, right before the era of the High Queen began. What about the start of the Fae Era 14,000 years ago? Do you know anything about that? Nope, there's not a single record of Britain's genesis. Aeas and the First Tamlin tried their hardest to track one down, but all they learned was the story of the 6 fairies.
The 6 fairies? As in... The nun knows.
So, you already know about it. Yup, it was that mural. I don't remember all that much about it either, but if you want, I'll tell you what I know as a bedtime story. Not that there's all that much to it. At best, it only makes for a decent lullaby.
Sorry, but I was just checking the next for the part for the arrow. Obviously, target. Guess I can give it a try for this one. Ghost.
大丈夫。落ち着いて。普段通りに。
苦しんでもらおうかしら。
白兵戦行きますですか。
あまり使いた
もちろん
くよくてよ。術理説理世のことその場ルールブレイカー。
Barely.
白兵戦今のうちに準備。
あまり使いたくはないのです
負けないぞ。
そう術理説理世のことその場ルールブレイカー。
Holy crap.
やだね。何の
いやそう
ために。あれはいつか見た終わりの星。どれほど遠く汚れても私は星を探すのです。さあ幕を開けてアラウンドカリバーン。
これはどう。
Shit.
指先一つで仕留めあまりよくてよ。術理説理世のことその場ルールブレイカー。これはどう。
Got him.
コリュキオンテカティックグライダー。敗者らしく逃げるように立ち去るのね。
Have any other single target, man? That Medea. Chiba. This spot looks perfect. Okay, guys, that's enough walking for today. Let's go ahead and set up camp. I'll go fetch the water. I'll go gather brushwood. I mean, firewood. I'll go write a report for the border. I'll go laze around for a while, since I'm just plain tired.
Then I'll put a bounty field to ward off animals and insects. Gosh, camping is so much fun no matter where you do it.
Roger that. All hands, move out. Right. All that's left to do now is rest up for tomorrow.
Yep, I think now's a good time to call it a night. There don't seem to be any dangerous creatures here, so...
Hold it. I still haven't told you guys about the 6 berries like I promised.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, Happy Cat. Please, go right ahead. Don't worry, I'm listening. Sounds pretty important after all.
Okay, now which diary was it? Aha! Here it is. Happy Cat's History, page 153.
it became ocean at the end. There was ocean at the beginning. After the shooting star passed, the land all ran into rivers.
Long, long, long ago, as far as time can go, 6 fairies went outside to find the world has become an ocean. There was no land, no rocks, no fish, no birds. And of course, there were no mountains or forests, which the 6 fairies loved more than anything. The 6 fairies didn't know what to do. They grew sad and thought of going home. This is awful, they thought. How terrible our world has become. Then a large shadow rose up from the ocean. It belonged to a giant fluffy creature. On its shoulder stood one of the animals the fairies believed was gone. The animal on its shoulder called the fluffy creature the Nun-Nose. The Nun-Nose, the animal, and the 6 fairies soon became friends. It wasn't easy living on the ocean. There was nowhere to go and nothing to do. But Sir Nun-Nose made things better for the 6 fairies by sheltering them from the waves. However, the animal said that Sir Nun-Nose was a god, and that he needed offerings. So the 6 fairies offered Sir Nun-Nose their joy. And they offered Sir Nun-Nose their wish. The ocean without waves is nice, but we're still missing having land. And so, the fairies' wish was granted. Then, after the rejoicing ended, the god grew tired and fell asleep. The 6 fairies revered Sir Nun-Nose for granting their wish. They made grateful use of everything that was left behind. Thus did the Isle of Britain come into being. May the first 6 fairies find salvation.
The end. So, was that helpful or Wow, you're amazing, Happy Cat. Can't believe how much you know. Is she talking in her sleep? Pretending to be awake? What about the rest of you? Mirror Master? Da Vinci? Frost?
I'm fine. I'm just attending dream school.
There's no such thing as a dream school. But seriously, that was helpful. It seems pretty clear now that the giant beast from the mural, Sir Nun-Nose, really did exist, along with the 6 clan ancestors. Also, what do you think of that animal riding on Sir Nun-Nose's shoulder was?
They would have said it was a fairy, so maybe a human?
I think so, too. Gods do like having mouthpieces. My guess is this human was Sir Nun-Nose's priest. They were probably there to share the god's word with the world.
I see. So that means when Britain was first created, there was a god, a priest, and fairies, huh? But now, there's no god, no priest, and the only humans that exist were made up by fairies. There's gotta be something more to this story. Maybe that's what Morgan's hiding.
Seeing how any stories related to gods completely died out in the era of the High Queen, you're probably right. But that leaves us with yet another question. If this story is true, it means Sir Nun-Nose gave the Southern Fairies, the 6 clan ancestors, this land. But then, who gave the Northern Fairies the land with woods on it in the Lake District? Oh, I know that one. This is a secret only the Mirror clan and those born before the era of the High Queen began knew. But a certain being's corpse lays somewhere in the Lake District. Even if the world has become totally blank or an empty sea with no life, it remained all by itself without decomposing until it eventually transformed into a small forest. All beyond the border, the last dragon. The corpse it left behind when it failed to return to the paradise of Avalon became the Northern Fairies' homeland.
So, this one I need to shoot for a hit. So, that's what we talked about last night.
Thanks, Frost. And I'm sorry again about falling asleep last night, Happy Cat. It's okay. I'm not mad anymore. Besides, I did say it'd make for a decent lullaby. It sure did. I slept great. I haven't dreamt so peacefully in a long time. So, just how amazing was this Albion thing anyway? In proper human history's archaeological circles, Albion is thought to be the name of Britain's prehistoric civilization. In the Magecraft world, it's also known as the Dragon of the Age of Gods and the last pure-blooded dragon. So to put how amazing that is in more concrete terms. Well, while servants, that is, heroic spirits could be said to be super beings that are way beyond humanity, both physically and spiritually. Not all servants are equal. They're ranked based on the scale of the spirit origin. The heroic spirit at the very top of the tier, the ones that even as a heroic spirit would consider astonishingly powerful, are known as grand servants. By that token, Albion would probably be considered a grand dragon by other dragons. I mean, if it was around when Earth was formed, that alone would mean it possessed 4.6 billion years worth of genetic information. It's not a god that was modeled on human perception or one discovered through faith. It's a primordial supernatural being. That said, humanity's no slouch either. In just a few 100,000 years, we took the accumulation of all 4.6 billion years worth of life on this earth and deciphered it, acquired it for ourselves, and are actively trying to develop it even further. So while a single human might not compare to something as amazing as Albion, as a race, there's nothing out there that surpasses humanity. We are the most advanced life form on Earth, you know?
Well said. We might be enemies, but just now, I'm real glad we're on the same side.
Thanks. You might be our enemy, but I love how you give credit where it's due.
Of all the ways for two people to become friends.
And yet, they still think of themselves as enemies. Weird.
I know, right? Since ancient times, boys have and always will be boys, huh?
我が進化よ。玉座の支度はできています。準備白兵戦。自分のうちに準備だね。戦いですか。さて、どこから潰しても指揮をこうしてあげるのに。食べなさい。宝具目をいい判断です。そう、いいでしょう。私の足元で許しを乞いなさい。落ちよ。ロードレス。キャメロット。内側から公園召し上げましょう。
Oh, easy.
公園の本気です。
That was fun. Ha! That was easy.
Okay, that's enough of that. You're the fairy who's been following us since yesterday, aren't you?
That's me. Hi there. I'm Mira, the Night Call. I've been watching you guys since I picked up your lovely auras.
By the way, unlike the original, my gender isn't exactly a secret, okay? The Night Call? So you're a spirit who didn't disappear after dying? But that's weird. I don't sense any hostility or malice or anything from you.
Nope, I don't have any regrets or grudges. I'm just too strong to disappear, that's all. I've been stuck like this for years on end now. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do about it either. Gotcha. Sounds like a real problem. Would it help if we left some food on your grave or something? You want to leave food on my grave? Even though there's nothing there? That's so funny! But thanks! You guys are really nice fairies!
Man, you sure are a cheerful Night Call, aren't you? Guess you didn't die because you lost your purpose then. How'd you bite it? Was it sudden? Did you have an unlucky accident or something?
It was more of an incident than an accident. We were all massacred by the fire and wind 6 years ago, just like Einzel predicted it. Einzel died then too. Now there's no one from the Mirror clan left. At least, I'm pretty sure there isn't. Or was there? That's odd. Oh well, everyone forgets things sometimes. Anyway, you guys look like you're a lot of fun, so I have a little quest I'm hoping you can help me with. See, a few days ago, a weird fairy showed up and started living in a really important place we used to protect. You think you might be able to chase her off for me? Well, while we're usually willing to help fairies, I mean, night calls in need, we kind of have somewhere we need to be ourselves. But, just out of curiosity, what does this weird fairy look like? Well, she's wearing a fancy upper-class fairy dress, and she even wears fancy glasses. And she has a whole bunch of subordinates and a pink tail. Hang on, that sounds like Konyanskaya.
Konyaskaya's that servant we saw in Miriam, right? Oberon seemed to think she was dangerous. But does that mean she's a problem Chaldea has to deal with too?
That aspect of her is still kind of up in the air. There's no doubt that she's fundamentally incompatible with humanity as a whole, but we also never faced her directly just yet. She did try to kill us during the attack on Chaldea base, but that was probably just her following the foreign god's orders. She's also made a habit of toying with the local populace in each Lostbelt, but I think that's just her way of enacting retribution. She basically took the existing system of exploitation in a given world, like the relationship between the ruling class and the lower class, and exaggerated them. She may hate humanity, but she's never tried to obliterate it. That said, she's been making a point of collecting creatures from each Lostbelt, which never existed in proper human history. Also, that she is the immature form of a beast, an evil bent on destroying humanity, would put her pretty firmly in the evil camp. If Konyanskaya were just acting as Miriam's bodyguard, that's between them. We have no business interfering. But if she's adding to her collection here too, then we can't just sit back and do nothing. It's really only a matter of time until she turns those creatures against us. Stopping her now is just a kind of self-defense, so we don't have to fight them off later.
I see. I think I understand why she's so dangerous now. In which case, she must be after Mirror. Are we headed to the bark where the dragon's remains are now?
We sure are. That weird fairy came trundling up to that pitch-black pool one day with an umbrella in tow, even though no one besides us should know about it. Then she kicked out the Moors, and the last I saw, she was doing something nasty to the dragon's corpse. The dragon's corpse? She's after Albion. Damn it! Has she no shame at all? That thing's gotta be like a national treasure. No tourist like her has a right to take it. Come on, let's hurry. Moors! Moors! There's a whole bunch of Moors here! Run for it, everyone! Forget about the dragon's corpse! Don't throw your lives away! Don't worry, we'll be fine. Luckily, there aren't many pure fairies here, so we can handle a bunch of Moors. Oh, but make sure you stand back, Habitat. We don't want to risk a worst-case scenario. Don't be daft, you idiot! This is no time to be worrying about me. That poison is super deadly. Make sure your healers are ready to go, Selfrost. If I have to, I'll go fight these things myself. Let's see. Back in line. Get back in line. Morgan in. Artoria stays here. Or Castoria stays there.
任せなさい。ふさわしい
最高のカードを
よし、今のうちに準備を。宝具を目をよく言いました。慈悲だ、神戸を垂れよ。恐怖は希望もな何人も通るにあたわず死になさい。内側から終わる多くの雲に。
Really? Is that all you got?
白兵戦さてどこから潰したのか簡単に終わる。望まれることをいい判断。望まれたように。あれはいつか見た終わりの星。どれほど遠く汚れても私は星を探すのです。さあ幕を開けてアラウンドカリバーン。慈悲だ、神戸を垂れよ。恐怖は希望もな何人も通るにあたわず。
Easy. No point of that. It's over.
満足のいく結果だったかい？それは上々。
Crap. It was bad enough. Now there's even more. Something's not right here. Moors wouldn't gather on their own like this. It's gotta be a trap calling Skya set. You must really not want anyone getting past here.
You mean she's already got Morris under her thumb? This Konyaskaya lady must be even more trouble than I thought. In fact, now that I think about it, I can't believe you knew what she was like and still greeted her in Colchester like it was no big deal. So fast.
I can't really argue with that. What else could have you done back then? Miriam was there too, you know. Now, quit griping and get back to fighting. If we can't end this, I'm gonna end up using my noble phantasm until I'm drained dry. Keep those enhancements coming, Artoria. I'll pull off 3 Sumikari in a row. Okay, what the fuck? I'll pull off 3 Sumikari in a row if that's what it takes. Even if I have to burn my own spear urchin for fuel.
Huh? Does that mean servant spear urchins are flammable?
Can't speak for everyone's, but mine is. Look, don't worry about it. Like I said, just keep them coming. When you've been standing at the forge as long as I have, losing an eye or a leg stops seeming like such a big deal. Oh. Tamlin, Lancelot, what are you doing here?
Never mind that. I'm going to clear out these moors. Never mind that. I am going to clear out these moors. Stand back, child prophecy. You're only getting in my way.
No way. That's the child prophecy? Now that I'm a night call, I couldn't tell it was her. But now that I'm getting a better look at her, I can sense it too. Yay! She finally made it back to the entrance of paradise. This is great. What a relief. Now all of our purposes have finally been fulfilled. Hello, Britain's Bell of Ending. So you're the one with the highest of callings. The second Avalon LaFay. You'll see about that. Warning, in the 5th progress note of Section 18 Avalon, you'll be defeated if the guest servant Tamlin Lancelot is vanquished. Yes, I kinda know about that. Have to keep her alive.
I see none of you were hurt or killed. Not that it is any of my concern.
I can't believe she just took out all those Moors by herself.
You didn't come here to save us, didn't you? Did you? Didn't come here to save us, did you? No. I suppose I could have just let you to your own devices. But this place is special to me, so I didn't want Moors ruining it. That's all.
So, you're not gonna fight the child prophecy?
Yes, I will. But not now. We all know there's going to be a war eventually. When there is, we Tamlin will head lead. We Tamlin will lead the charge against the child prophecy and the fire mage. There's no need to rush things. When the time comes, I will make your death so excruciating that your soul will flee your body from the pain alone. So cruel and sadistic. You're pretty ugly on the inside for fairies set to be the most beautiful in Britain, aren't you? Me? The most beautiful? That's very kind of you to say, but no, I'm not the most beautiful fairy in Britain. Well, maybe if you value function over form, but true beauty has nothing to do with combat ability. Why am I bothering to talk about this? I really need to learn what is and isn't appropriate for fairies one of these days. Anyway, I take it you're all here to ring the bell of pilgrimage. If you are, then I just turn around and leave if I were you. There's nothing like that here anymore. Anything that used to be here has long since been burnt to... Ah!
Huh? Yikes, you scared me. Did you see a ghost or something?
Yes, I'm looking at one. Have you guys really not noticed it until just now? That's a night cow. And if it's here, it must be from the Mirror clan. I see. So that's what was calling to me.
Huh? No, you got it all wrong. We don't begrudge anyone anything. We already did everything we had to. We have nothing left to tell you. More importantly, are you sure you don't want to hurry to the bog? Otherwise, you might be too late to stop that outsider from taking your homeland for herself. Come on, landslide or no landslide. We can't let Konyaskaya get away with this, right? Whoa. Keep out. Hey. Judging from its bones, that creature must have been enormous.
What are these hideous buildings? What are these hideous bindings doing?
Okay.
What are these hideous bindings doing here? How dare you wade into our lake with your dirty feet? Dirty feet? Of all the nerve! I'll have you know I'm very fond of this dress Lady Miriam gave me. So I've been toiling away at this excavation from the air, as you can see. Unfortunately, these Moors I just acquired have been unable to either transport or destroy it. So I was nearly on the verge of writing the whole thing off as a loss. But luckily, even though these bones are worthless junk to me now, it seems mistreating them a little was the right choice. Now, I'll get my hands on a Tamlin I've been waiting and hoping for. Miss Aura, you must be an immature beast.
Hold it right there, Konyaskaya.
Chaldea, what are you all doing here? Those bones must be threats left of Albion's corpse. Whatever Konyaskaya wants with them, we can't let her get it. Come on, Silfrost, we need to help Lancelot. I don't know what Konyaskaya's after, but whatever it is, it can't be good. This time, we're gonna cut off her tail and send her packing. What was that? How dreadfully crude. Not all of us world-class beauties ruin nations, you know. Why, if anything, I'm doing humanity a favor. I'd say what I'm doing here is philanthropy. But I suppose trying to get you all to see reason is a fool's errand, since you can't even see what a blight this thing actually is. All that hard work I put into it acquired this fine specimen of a weapon, and you've all ruined it. You know, I think this may be a fine occasion to finally get rid of you all. Stand back, everyone! Something huge is coming out of the bog! Is that a dragon? Could it be Albion itself? No! What are you, blind? Just another Mars! You're blind and no brains, aren't you? You'll never be a match for Morgan like that!
Hey, you can't blame Artoya for being confused. These magical energy levels are insane. They're as high as the Calamity Norwich, if not higher.
You're right. I didn't want to believe it, but this water is all made up of the same stuff as Mars. It's literally dripping with luminosity towards berries. We're basically surrounded by Mars now. There's no escape. That's right. This is where Albion's dead flesh rotted away, becoming the most foul substance in all of Britain. And that's not all. This is also where the northern fairies were massacred in the War of Spring. For 8,000 years, their hatred has festered away in this natural cauldron. Albion itself may be no more than a pile of bones now. But it's no trouble to collect all the magical elements that were left here and make them into what they used to be. What are you saying? Are you planning to steal Albion's corpse since it's perished all alone in the sea of nothingness? Of course not. My clients wouldn't be interested in acquiring a zombie. No, this is strictly a one-time deal. I'll return to its old, decayed flesh once all of Chaldea's dead. Besides, you're the thing I'm really after. Haven't I already mentioned that? You see, Lostbelt gave me a juicy, super secret bit of info. You're a living Albion, so I'm going to take you away from here and keep you all to myself.
But if Lancelot is Albion, why does she still look like a fairy?
Now, as much as I hate to cut short a chat about my fabulous products, I'm afraid I must. Good day, Chaldeans. Thank you so much for your patronage these last several months. Now, allow me to escort you down to the depths of hell, where you can wait for Britain's destruction.
This is way worse than it was in Norwich. It's suicide to fight a Moors up the scale without mass protection.
The hell it is. Don't be fooled. This thing's all bark and no bite. Sure, this box curse is powerful, but it's not a real calamity. That weird lady up there is just giving it temporary form. You guys can take this thing easily. Now come on and kick its butt, Silkfrost. This is no time to be hanging out here. Mash is waiting for you to come get her in Orkney.
Well, in that case, bring it on.
Damn, just when I thought I'd broken their spirit. If only that odd little fairy hadn't stuck her nose in. Fine, I'll help you out here. Just this once, I'm going to disable the name and gift Her Majesty bestowed on me. Because if that really is Albion's animated flesh, then I'm the only one who can burn it away. Hear me! I am not the knight known as Lancelot. My true name is Melusine. Melusine of the Dark Bog. I am the descendant of Albion, given my name by the most beautiful being alive.
So I have to keep Melusine alive. Okay. Here. Favor. Well, actually, no, I need to keep her alive, and now, otherwise, if it was to be dead, mission fail. We'll get him in next time. Wait. Need to keep that Lucine alive. Full calamity signs of flames. They both
さ
have
てギャンブ
guts.
ルだ。得意だけどまずは様子見といこう。
Down.
最高のカードを君に。
Not gonna use that yet. Not quite yet.
最悪私にちゃんと命令してこの名はアルビオン教会を開く最後の竜ジョフロワからフロモンへ時を示せ行けいたいとえいはあですから早いところに
さてカウンティングオーバー。
What's your overcharge? Okay.
運命この星から一番の負けないぞそれはいつか来る兆しの星誰に呼ばれるまでもなくあなたは星をかざすでしょうアラウンド開番この名はアルビオン教会を開く最後の竜ジョフロワからフロモンへ時を示せ行けいたいとここでまっすぐ
Hey.
この体ちょっと白兵戦行きますちゃんと命令もっと早くちゃんと命令して無謀刻み波
おっと
今のうちに準備
Okay. Nice. Nice. Cool.
ハッピーエンドの話をし
最
よう。
悪もっと早く
星の宇宙に物見の歌楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のに通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
この名はアルビオン教会を開く最後の竜ジョフロワからフロモンへ時を示せ行けいたいと
Now both guts are removed after using that MP finish off.
勝利悪くない
Whew.
空っぽの胸が弾むようだ
Good fight. Good chat, man. But I'm not really gonna roll for Melusine anyway. Still wanna for other one. Like Konyaskaya. That's Melusine. I still wanna like roll for like Oberon and Konyaskaya and then those summer servants coming up later. Next few months. About 2 months away or something like that. I don't know. Alright, next one. What the hell?
Beast!
She got her! Yep, that's Lancelot's Iron Dyke. She just destroyed Konyaskaya's Bureau Core. No question.
She's gone. What happened, I mean, Melusine? I thought you killed her. Lancelot. In this form, I am Tamlin Lancelot. I will tell you nothing unless you can call me by that name. Not that there is anything I want to tell you in any case.
Okay, Lancelot. We won't mention that other name again. But it looks like you're just as strong, But it looks like you're just as strong even without your gifted name. In fact, you might even be weaker as Lancelot. So if you want to go by that name, you won't hear us complain.
Exactly. Thank you for being so understanding.
No problem. I'm flattered you think so. But anyway, what happened with Konyanskaya? Should we assume she got away?
Well, maybe. I should have gone for her head, not her heart.
Is this some kind of like Thanos reference joke? Should have gone in for the head.
That beast was still weak since she wasn't fully grown, but she had vitality to spare. If I had to guess, I'd say she has several lives. So she should at least be incapacitated for a few days.
It's all thanks to you, Lancelot.
Oh, good. I knew that, of course, but I'm glad to see you two too.
This is great. Now old Lord Skelly will stick around for a long time yet. Without Lord Skelly, the lake would have filled back in with regular ocean. Then the border between the surface and the spirit cavern would fall apart, and Lady Ainsa would be sad.
Lord Skelly? Is that really what the mirror called Albion?
Yup, it's easy to tell who you mean that way, right? Anyway, why don't we go back? The longer you stay here, the worse you're gonna feel. I'm getting that, yeah. This poison is strong enough to affect spirit urgings. I don't even want to think about the genetic effects it could have on living creatures. Besides, while I'd love to investigate Albion's course further, we have something else that needs doing right now. Let's go back to those ruins then. How about you, Lancelot?
What? What is it? Now you won. You're not going to find a weakness. It's not that. I was just wondering what you being a living Albion means. Also, I have to say, Melusine is a lovely name.
I can't believe she just blurted that out. Even Habitat knew better than to bring it up.
That has nothing to do with you. It is not worth talking about.
Lancelot is Albion's left claw. When the planet turned into the Sea of Nothingness, Albion, who didn't make it back to paradise, exhausted their strength and died when they fell from the sky. But even though the core, their heart, had stopped, their flesh lived on. Right before their body completely fell apart, they cut off their left claw. That left claw was Melusine's before this new life. It was here in this lake for a long time, not even sure if it was alive or dead.
What? I didn't see anything like that the last time I was here. I'm sure you didn't. Before I looked like this, I was just a filthy clump of flesh. I had no muscles, no bones, no cilia, no hair, no joy, no fun, no sadness, no suffering. I didn't even know I was a dragon or what I would have liked to be. I may have been alive, but I wasn't truly living. I was just a thing wriggling in the darkness of the bog. But then, one day...
Please, stop this, Lady Aurora. You're going to dirty yourself. Any creature living in a bog like this must be even filthier than the Moors.
Why would you say something like that? Just look at how much it's struggling to reach the light. It's okay. This lake is quite shallow. I'm sure even I can help it.
Eek! What is that thing? It looks like rotten fruit. Please, get away from it, Lady Aurora. You'll ruin your dress.
Oh my. You poor thing. You must be so cold. You're not a water fairy, are you? Hello there, darling one. Good morning, I think. Yes, that's better. My name is Aurora. What's yours? Now that we're friends, could I offer you some tea? Oh, only if you like tea, of course.
What the hell?
I met someone who had no reservations about cradling a creature like me in her arms. It was the first time I'd seen something beautiful. That was when I gained this form. I was no more than a bunch of cells, but once I saw her, I knew I wanted to be just like her. That was the first thing I ever wanted. And now, I have this body, along with the name she gave me, Melusine.
So you didn't have muscles, or bones, or even cilia to transport cells. You must have been something like an amoeba then. But then, once you saw a model for a new way to be, you transformed into a fairy?
Yes, that's right. Amazing, isn't it? It truly was a miracle. Nobody else would ever have thought to go into that dark, muddy bog, let alone cradle me like that. That's why my life belongs to her. My whole reason for being is making her wishes come true. But she has duties she couldn't neglect, so we couldn't be together forever. 100 years ago, the Earth, Wind, King, and Fang clans were so afraid of a calamity that they began fighting amongst themselves again. So at High Queen Morgan's suggestion, I became Tamlin Lancelot to bring the fighting to an end. So that's why you're the only Tamlin who doesn't have her own army or domain. Tristan, Avalon Sith hates fairies. Gawain, Vikas loves fairies. Humans too. What about you, Lancelot? How do you feel about them? Did you just start caring for Percival on a whim? No, I didn't. I love Percival deeply. Love? I watched over him for 10 years, ever since he was a little boy. Every time he grew bigger or stronger, my heart felt like it would burst with joy, uncertainty, loneliness, and gratitude. I wasn't the best mentor, sister, or even friend. I dreamed of a future where Percival could live happily, like the humans in proper human history so many times though. But not only did he decline High Queen Morgan's invitation, he went and formed that silly round table army. I don't know how he turned out to be such a delinquent. I certainly didn't raise him that way.
If you really worried about Percival, you could still fight beside him.
I can't do that. I have to be a Tamlin. That's why I obey High Queen Morgan. Whether the child prophecy cause is just or not doesn't matter. I made a deal with Her Majesty. I had my reason, and I'm going to honor the deal. Alright. This should be far enough. Besides, it's time to return. Alright, this should be far enough. Besides, it's time I return to Camelot. I'll see you later. On the battlefield. As enemies.
You're really going to fight Percival?
He chose this path for himself. I have to respect that. But don't tell him you talked to me. It'll only be painful for him.
Bye! Good luck in the battle at Camelot! Well, there she goes. She left as quickly as she came, just like the last time. Mirror? Does that mean she... It's okay. It's all in the past now. I'm not upset. Everyone in the Mirror clan can see the future. We all know when we're going to die, and it's hard to tell percent from future. We feel like we're dead from the moment we're born. So we have no regrets, no desire for revenge, or anything like that. Dying just hurt, that's all. I do feel bad for Einso though. She was our leader, our princess, so she was always worried about the whole clan's future. She put so much pressure on herself, always worried about how to find a way for us all to survive. She put all that on herself. She kept apologizing to the whole clan, right up to the moment we all died. The truth is, she's the one who is supposed to become a Night Call. But I didn't want her to keep having to apologize to us, even after we all died. So I volunteered to be the messenger instead.
Messenger? So, you have a message for the child prophecy?
Yup. There's no bell pilgrimage in the city. Only the clan heads have those. And since Einzel was destroyed along with her, I'm afraid you'll have to find a replacement somewhere else. Also, this is kind of hard to say, but you're, it's okay, Silkbrass. Let's just hear what she has to say. The last thing Einzel has to say was, the child prophecy will come here twice. The first time will be to live. The second time will be to die.
I see. Thank you, Mira. I'll remember that. I promise. Take care of yourself, okay?
I'm glad you turned out to be such a kind child of prophecy. Make sure you don't hold anything back or second guess yourself. Just go out there and save Britain. Save the rest of us fairies.
Yow! Ow, 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 ow! I can't believe this! How could she have crushed my heart through the six-tailed clone I sent down? What a disaster. All that work I did to raise one of my tails, gone just like that. The plan was to send one of my 9 lost tails to each Lostbelt so they could all learn and gain unique experiences. And once all 9 tails had matured, I was going to become a beast that would have easily surpassed that smarmy fox maiden. But now the whole thing's ruined. Oh well, guess I'll just have to give up then. Really, now that I think about it, I couldn't have actually grown all 9 tails anyway. There's still only 7 lost belts. Alright, let's try to look at the bright side of this. Do I cut my losses and move on? Or do I stay put? Albion's body was just a pile of bones, and since it doesn't have any fur, there's no way for me to control it. And Lady Melusine is no longer a beast, but a fairy akin to a heroic spirit. It's too late for me to acquire her either. It'd be a pretty big loss if I pulled out of Britain now, but I don't see much reason to stay at this point. Well, at least I found some good reference material for the private casino, resort, and private primate zoo I plan to build one day. I do feel bad about leaving Lady Miriam in the lurch, but...
Leaving so soon? So, you are every bit as heartless as you seem.
Oh my! Look what the moth dragged in! Well, if it isn't the so-called Fairy King who asked me to wipe out Woodrose's reinforcements without Lord Silfrost finding out, in exchange for telling me where I could find Albion. Of course, you didn't say at the time that the information you were peddling was worthless. You knew Albion was no good to me when you made that deal, didn't you?
Of course I did. Why would I go out of my way to help out one of Chaldea's enemies? Besides, I only told you where you could find Albion's grave. You getting what you want from it was never part of the deal. Now, would you cut the sickening slander before I get forcibly reacquainted with my breakfast?
Oh, very well. It may have been no more than a rotted corpse, but it was still the last pure-blooded dragon. Even I couldn't make it in my kin, I was still able to extract some valuable information from its bone structure. It should at least provide a good base structure for the Grand Tanmamo Shrine, the AAA
Advanced Avenging Armament,
currently under construction at NFF Services headquarters. Now then, if you'll excuse me, Prince Devious, I must be going. I do hope you enjoy playing Guide to Chaldea.
You're looking for a weapon that can destroy the will, right? I really didn't want to tell you this, but right now, we need all the help we can get, even from the beast. I have an idea of where you can find an even stronger product that's right up your alley. So, if I were you, I wouldn't cut my losses in Britain just yet. Alright, what can he... Hey, 30 sync coins. Right, forgot about that. Nice. Alright, MASH point of view time. Orkney. End of Fey Era 400 after the fall of Londinium. Truderoy, where did AS go? She went to check on the world tree. I mean, the tree of emptiness. She says she's going to wither it until it dies. Then she'll end the Fey Era and create a new land. I see. I wish there was something I could do for her, but there isn't. It's all gone. All of it. Everything AS, everything we all worked for, destroyed. Just like that. For no reason at all. I guess there really isn't any way left to save Britain. Doesn't feel fair that I'm the only one who gets to survive. That I get to stay behind in the future. I guess there really isn't any way left to save Britain, okay. Doesn't feel fair I'm the only one who gets to survive. That I get to stay behind in the future. MASH? You've got that all wrong, MASH. You're not staying behind in the future. You're going back home to it. Remember, you never belonged to the Fey Era in the first place. So it's good that you're going back. Even AI said this would wrap everything up nice and neat. That didn't cheer you up? Fine. If you're that worried about it, I'll make you a special promise. I promise that I'll prove you coming here to this era wasn't a mistake. A special promise? That's right. You know, I used to be a real jerk before I lost to AS. I was violent and selfish, and everyone else in the Wing Clan hated me. But then I joined AS and went around Britain beating up bad guys with her. It was a lot of fun and all, but it always felt kind of empty. Like there was a big hole in my heart. I used to wonder what it was I really wanted to do, what I should do, and what would bring me real joy. But then you came along and filled that hole for me, MASH. Remember when you told me about Habitat, the fairy from Scotland? I don't know which me is right, this Lostbelt me or the me from proper human history, but I don't care. The other me you described sounds so happy. I've decided that's who I want to be. You gave me a dream worth living for, MASH, and I don't mean the dream of becoming Habitat for proper human history. No, my dream is to see you in a bridal gown, getting happily married. Now that you've given me that a dream, I'm gonna hold on to it forever. I'm always gonna be grateful you came here. So you just wait right here, and don't worry about a thing. While you're sleeping, I'm gonna become a great tailor and see off at least 100 brides. That way, maybe my own little wish will come true too. I mean, if I can make 100 brides happy, that'll definitely help me become a real grown-up. Right. That's right. Knowing you, Tudorot, I'm sure you'll become the best seamstress in the world. Right? So there's the promise. It's okay if you forget it as long as you keep waiting here. The next time we meet, I'm gonna be able to make a wonderful dress that'll look absolutely smashing on you. And so, MASH, the first Tamlin, enter her slumber. It would be wrong for a human girl named MASH to exist in the Fey Era, you see. So, by insisting that the figure in this coffin was actually the first Tamlin, there wouldn't be a paradox in the era of the High Queen that was to come. Great thinking, Ask. You know, Ask, I still don't get why you're helping MASH. I'm not too smart, but even I can tell you won't gain anything from it.
She has a special spirit urgent. Having someone like her working for me would be useful in the future.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, so I'm not gonna ask anything more. You're about to kill the Tree of Emptiness, right? And a whole lot of fairies are gonna die, right? Then our journey together is over. I'm
gonna go back to the south and work on my fairy training. And this time, I'll do it for me. See you later, Ask. It's been fun. I see. Goodbye, Tudurat. Training for your own sake is all well and good. But don't forget what I taught you either, okay?
Third day. Fourth day. Fifth day. Okay. Time flies fast. My diary. Page 14,800. It's been 400 years since that day. I'm now known far and wide as a first-class seamstress. I've even seen more than 100 brides off. But my wish hasn't come true. Of course it hasn't. After all, I still haven't been able to make a dress for my first bride. The one I care about more than any other. My legs don't work so well lately. My eyesight is fading and I can barely hold this pen. Meanwhile, Britain hasn't changed one bit. Ever since Aes quit being its savior, war between the clans had resumed, worse than ever. Now it's year 12,000, the year of the great calamity that occurs once every 1,000 years. Aes said this is when Britain is supposed to come to an end. But I know that it won't. Mash told me it still exists in the future.
Okay, nobody should find me in here.
I sat down in a corner of the northern cave. As soon as I did, my eyes stopped working, my mouth stopped moving, and my mind started to go blank. Huh, I must have been even more tired than I thought.
Let's see. 2019, Sheffield's Castle Town.
I sprinkled the petrification powder Grimmer made for me on my head. I hear the world breaking apart far off in the distance. I hear the screams of fairies as they perish. It's the winter storm ringing the bell of revenge. Ask returned from Orkney, the world's end.
The last war. There's no more Uther, no more Round Table, no more Ekdor, no more Grimmer. It's just her, and a war of winter. Sorry I couldn't be out there with you, Ask, but fighting just takes too much out of me.
This is the end of the Fae era, the moment that makes our entire pilgrimage meaningless. The time a savior vanishes from history and disappears from everyone's memory. We're nearing there. Close of the end, Orkney. About time we made it. About time we made it. So, this is the northernmost point in Britain, huh?
If this were proper human history's Britain, we'd be right around Edinburgh, I'd say. But it looks like this is about as far north as this version of Britain goes. I'd heard it was cold here, but I still wasn't expecting it to be this cold. It never gets anywhere near this chilly in the south.
Is that white stuff snow?
Those are the tears of the Rain Clan. They are all that remain of the Rain Clan after it was wiped out in Fae Era 4000. They're a song of grief and admonition to the other clans, and an apology meant for the Fairy of Paradise.
Who's the Fairy of Paradise?
Exactly what it sounds like. A fairy who came from paradise. Don't worry, it'll all make sense soon. An apology meant for the Fairy of Paradise. Come to think of it, why did the Rain Clan die out? Was it Moors? Northern fairies? Nope. The Wind, Earth, Fang, and Wind clans all joined forces to wipe them out in one night. Ugh. An alliance between 4 clans. That would definitely be enough to wipe out a single clan. But I thought the clans all hated each other until Morgan united our Britain. So how and why would that many disparate clans form an alliance like that? Good question. It's hard to imagine that happening unless they all hated the Rain Clan more.
a strong common enemy and all that. Were there other clans just at that afraid of the Rain Clan? Were they just that powerful? Not at all. The Rain Clan was a quiet, peaceful clan, just like the Mirror Clan. The whole reason they took up residence here in the north was out of desire not to fight the clans in the south.
Then, why?
Because they helped the Fairy of Paradise. They took pity on her when she washed up here from Paradise and raised her as their princess, like she was one of their own. The other clans, well, they didn't like that. At all. They were all, no way we're letting her go on her pilgrimage. All those traitors need to die for this. Traitors?
Sorry, no more chit-chat for now. We've got someone here to welcome us to Orkney. Oh wow, what a beautiful world. And its first it looks so warm.
Yeah, there's almost something godly about it. Wait, it actually has real divinity? But there's no gods in Britain. Does that mean there's a divine spear somewhere nearby?
It's heading off that way. Do you think it wants us to follow it? Yep, there's a little boat up ahead I used myself a long time ago. We can take it out to Orkney. Don't worry, it's only a 30-minute ride. And once we get there, my adventure will be over.
Huh? Alright, here we go. Wait a minute. I will change this one to Merlin. It looks like the White Wolf's headed toward the campfire.
Yeah, and there's another wolf already there, along with...
Hey, there you are, Fricky. Want some of this fish Moonian caught? That's a servant? That's a servant, so Frost. This mean there's been another probably human history servant besides Oberon here? No, wait. I recognize that robe. Hey, Soapfrost! About time you got here. I was beginning to think you never showed up. Kukulon! Kukulon? Whoa there. Mind not calling me that? It really drags the Spirit Urchin's output down. Round here, I've gone by Grimmer for a long, long time now. Don't forget it.
Grimmer? Come to think of it, I do remember there being an old fairy by that name in Europe, but... wasn't that also another name for the Norse All-Father?
What? You didn't tell him about me, Habitrot? Not even after I bailed you out in Sheffield?
Yikes. There was so much happening back then that I didn't realize at the time. But you've really gotten old, Grimmer.
What are you talking about? I'm as young as I ever was. I don't know what my predecessor was like, but I'm the second generation. Sorry to disappoint.
Man, I had no idea time could be so brutal. Ajax dropped dead in shock if she saw you now.
You're Grimmer the Sage, Kukulon. How's that work? Sure, I'll be glad to fill you in. Not like this is our first time meeting, is it? But first, I've got to see if the child prophecy there is the real deal or not. Damn, this guy means business. Is it alright if we fight back, Silfrost? Just another of the endless test of skill, I think.
Got it. It seems this man's much less nice than your usual acquaintances, Sopras.
I don't know why, but something about this guy really rubbed me the wrong way. Come on, let's get him.
出陣します。私の後に続きなさい。簡単に終わらないように手に入らないのが簡単に終わらないように。白兵戦行きます。渦のうちに準備。
何事もやればできるさ。お任せ。夢のように片付けよう。バー
暗き湖よ来たれ。よくいい判断です。それは絶えず見た滅びの夢。最果てにありながら鳥は明日を迎えましょう。ロードレスキャメル。分断する。潰れなさい。揺れぬ。諦めなさい。
Easy. So, the child property likes to gang up on heroic spirits she's never met before, huh? Alright, I see how it is. I have nothing to say to a kid who can't even be civil. Go on, get out of here.
But, you were the one who said to bring it on. Isn't that right, so fast? Hell, you were the one who said we should fight him.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Huh? Seriously? Now you're starting to sound like Oberon. Yep, that's Grimmer, alright. He might be all grown up now, but he's still mean as ever. Alright, Grimmer, tell us what's going on here. How long have you been back in Britain?
How long have you been back? That sounds like...
True,
I mean, Grimer,
this wouldn't happen to be your second time being summoned here, would it?
if so, would the first time being long ago, back in the Fey era, and the second time be, well, now? Oh ho, we got a clever one here, Guess you'd have to be, since you already saved humanity once. Anyway, I think that's enough joking for now. Now that I've crossed stage with you, I can tell for sure that you're the child of prophecy, the fairy of paradise. Allow me to introduce myself once again. I'm Grimer the Sage. My true name is Kukulan. I'm a heroic spirit from proper human history. 6,000 years ago, I was summoned here as the divine spirit of Odin. This time around, I've been standing guard here day and night for the last year of Odin's behalf.
A divine spirit? So then, is this one of those god beings you told me about so fast? But he's so... affable. He's not the least bit majestic.
That's about the reaction I was going for. You're a lot more admirable than I expected. You're right. I'm not at all majestic. I might here as Odin's proxy, but I'm still just another heroic spirit, like that old man over there. So, how about you just call me Grimer, you know? Like a friendly older brother sort? Ha! Older brother. If you're here as a divine spirit proxy, then you're just as much of an old man on the inside as I am. No way! I'm young in mind and in body! Know why? Cause I bit it before I got old.
I wonder why those two get along so poorly.
I bet a whole fate thing. And fate stay and I... What? Never mind that. I've got some explaining to do first, don't I? Unfortunately, my role here is more than a little complicated. So I think I'll start by clearing that stuff up. Listen up, Sofrost. You too, child prophecy. First off, my relation to Chaldea. I'm the same heroic spirit you formed a contract with in Fuyuki. Yeah, I did get reset when I went back to the Throne of Heroes. But I retained my records of you, Olga Marie, and Kane Arthur, who's still holding her ground here. I see. You're talking about Singularity F, or Singularity X, as Chaldeas defined it. The one that took place in Fuyuki in 2004. I've seen the data on that incident too. And I'm pretty sure any servant that's been dismissed would never bring any records back with them. Then thank my divine spirit for stepping in on that. Hell, in my case, you could even call it the counterforce. The god who gave me this authority explicitly said he wanted me to watch out for you guys from Chaldea. He's also the god of magecraft and wisdom, see? And apparently, he looked into the future and saw we needed to do something here before things got real bad. But here, he meant Fuyuki in Britain, and by do something, he meant... her? Well, it seems to come down to, in a word, recovery. See, this god's had his eye on this Lostbelt for a hell of a long time. A multi-dimensional eye, specifically. He first summoned me here 6,000 years ago to aid the Fairy of Paradise. That was the first Grimer the Sage. He was a pseudo-servant possessing the local fairy's body. I remember. He was about 14 years old, and he had a sword instead of a staff. Oh boy, I remember that one. It was from Big Granddaughter Arcade. I recall that one. Let me see this. What's his name? The Tanta. Yeah. Saber version, 4 stars. Got it. Did he now? Well, ain't that something? What kind of kid was he? He was a real brat. Always getting into trouble. Ask learned on him a lot, though. So you used to be battle buddies. That's good to hear. Yup. After we parted ways with Ask, the two of us talked a lot. You made that magic powder for me and came up with a plan. Then disappeared during the Great Calamity, right? Yup. The previous Grimer disappeared either because Ask revoked his contract or because she killed the Tree of Emptiness. But before he disappeared, Odin left some insurance in the form of a countermeasure to be implemented if this Lostbelt swapped places with reality. He knew that once humanity's everybody dies ending, the incineration of humanity had been resolved. There'd be no avoiding the bad ending, the reconstruction of humanity. All the necessary conditions were in place. So he figured the least he could do was handle the issue here, take some of the land. So he figured the least he could do was handle the issue here to take some of the load off Chaldea. And I'm the pseudo-servant he chose to help resolve that. In the first phase, he conferred his authority upon me, making me a caster. Then I showed up at Point X, Fuyuki, and formed a bond with Chaldea. After that, he sent me here to Britain, where humanity would be in real dire straits if someone didn't step in. Though I had no idea about Grimer the Sage before I got here. The only thing I inherited was my duty as a divine spirit of proper human history. I didn't know the first thing about this place. I was in the same boat as Sopros in that regard. So after I was summoned here, I spent a year investigating what had happened in the era of the High Queen. I learned about her calamities, the clans, Morgan, the Tamlin, the transition from the Fey era to the end of the High Queen. And once I saw that in the bell tower here, I put most of the pieces together. I knew then that my job was to wait for you guys here, to ensure that the pilgrimage succeeded, and to get the Fairy of Paradise back to Paradise. So, what does that mean exactly? Don't overthink it. It's just like Fuyuki. From here on, I'm gonna accompany you on your journey. I'll act as one of your servants and all of that. In exchange, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to fulfill Einzel's prophecy. The promise Ask couldn't keep. I guess Kid Me was too soft to get the job done. But that's the job Grimer the Sage is here to do. Grimmer? I don't know, Grimmer. Grimmer is an awfully roundabout way of summoning a servant to help. But I'm glad to have you on board, Grimmer the Sage. First off, we'd love to hear what you know about the Fey era and the end of the High Queen. But before that, you don't gotta tell me. You're here looking for the shield girl, right? You're more worried about your trusted partner's safety than about fixing humanity. I know it's not very sagely, but personally, I couldn't agree more with that stance. Besides, I'm sure she knows way more about the Fey era than I do, so we may as well hear it from her instead. Are you sure about this? Hey, our goals are basically the same. All you gotta do is help me with mine.
So you know where Mash is. Then, does that mean...
Yup, she's by the Bell of Pilgrimage. See that broken down castle over there? The bell tower's right at the top. Well, that makes this simple. Come on, Soapbrush, let's go get her. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. We've got some real nasty things to get past between here and there. They look like the kind of ghosts you see wandering around in foggy woods, but they're all way tougher than you think. You've still got to get past them, of course, but don't go thinking they're weak just cause they're ghosts. In fact, if things go wrong, you might find these creatures much harder to fight than any other enemy you've faced so far. Right. Right, so it's ruler.
まだまだ未熟者ですが頑張ります。
Oh well.
感心に終わらないあまり悩ませない今のうちに準備を楽しくなるでしょう。
何事もやればできるさ。
さて暗き湖に目を背けないで。そういいでしょう。私の足元で許しを乞いなさい。落ちよロードレスキャメロット。
Easy.
何を喜んでいるのです。私が出たのです。勝利は約束されていたはずです。
Next one here. I'll go with this one. This fog is nuts! Don't be hasty. The bell tower's not going anywhere. We need to take it nice and slow through this fog if we're gonna stick together. Hey, Grimmer. We've covered enough ground by now that we ought to be at the bell tower. Hell, we just went up a big staircase a little while ago. So why are these things? What can I say? This stuff happens. Druids aren't usually the ones to commute with the dead. But what the hell? They're asking you if you're qualified. Looks like they really don't want you to go on ahead. What do you say, Soapfrost? Wanna wait here until the fog clears up? No, I don't see that happening. You heard the man, Gen. You heard the man, gents. We appreciate your warning, but you needn't have bothered. What are you guys still doing here anyway? Souls are supposed to reincarnate. Here, how about we help speed that along? Ah, Knights of the Round Table members. I don't see Bedivere.
出陣します。
No.
私の後に続きなさい。まだね、手に入らない。
リラックスリラックス。最高のカードを君に。
白兵戦行きます。宝具を
OK ご要望と
展開
あらば。
しましょう。そう、いいでしょう。私の足元で許しを乞いなさい。落ちよ、ロードレスキャメロット。
Easy again.
満足のいく結果だったかい？それは上々。
Gotcha. Sorry, I just received a text anyway. Not so very important, but reminding me things. Anyway. What? We made it to the top. There's the bell tower, just like Grimmer said. And over there... Mash. In stasis cell. Mash! She sealed in ice. A second. That's right. She's been in his coffin for the past 2,400 years. Since Bay Era 400. 2,400 years? Why? Your guess is as good as mine. You'll have to ask her about that yourself. According to the notes, the first Grimmer left. The coffin spell should be lifted once her master touches it. You made it. You two are finally reunited. However, it looks like there's still one last obstacle left to overcome. You won't be able to get near the coffin or the bell unless we do something about those things. Give him hell, Artoya. You're the only one who can beat him.
Are you okay with this, Habitrot? Even though they're calling your name? I'm fine. You're just hearing things. Go on, Artoya. Get them. This terrace beloved by a group of gentle, peaceful fairies is Orkney's holiest place. The ancient era these spirits belong to is long over. It's time they left.
Okay. Can't use fucking thing. I was just leave it here. Yes, ready. Give it a shot. Let's just hope that this stupid bastard shit thing like the card deck don't ruin it for me. So we have
夏だから
Cast Toya
ね戦いも観光も
and
涼やかなものがいい
Shadow Prototype Arthur. Right?
感心に終わらない手に入らないのやだね
リラックスリラックス最高のカードを君に
白兵戦行きます宝具をよく目を背けないでそれは絶えず見た滅びの夢
Oh shit,
最
wait,
果
hang
て
on.
にありながらトリガース
Pause. Fine, because I'm pretty sure that Breakpoint, he'll charge his MP fully charged. So I have to use that team-wide action just in case.
リラックスリラックス
目に映るものよく言いいい判断ですそういいでしょう私の足元で許しを乞いなさい落ちよロードレスキャメラット逃がす者か許す者か多くの雲の
That's taken care of.
そうかわかった私が何をしたというんだいカーカー
やだね望まれることを
おや
望まれた家を背けないであれはいつか見た終わりの星どれほど遠く汚れても私は星を探すのですさあ幕を開けてアラウンドカリバーン
切り込む
分断す
本気で行こう
あまり悩ませない目に映るも目をよく言いました
Alright, time to finish you off, Shadow
事実
Proto.
神戸を垂れよ恐怖は希望もない何人
この程度
通るにあたわず戦いですかああ鐘の音が聞こえる
Thanks for giving you a couple of powder dust, though. Wasn't that... You did good, Artoria. I think you both come to terms with things now. Once you ring the bell, Orkney's role will be over. But first things first, go ahead and touch the coffin, Sopfrost. Once you do, she'll be back to normal. Lickety split. Approach slowly. Right. Oh wow. All of support. Alright, let's finish this section 19 then. I'm gonna call off.
supposed to be the greatest day in Britain's history. Everything was supposed to change for the better. But they killed Uther. They slaughtered my entire round table. Like they were just trash. They asked the world of us. They thought the world of Uther. But now, they poisoned him. They were too afraid to even face him. Cowards! Uther, talk to me. Uther! Uther! Say something. Please, say anything. Just open your eyes. I never let failure stop me. I kept trying all these 1,000 years. I kept trying all these thousands of years. Am I doomed to fail here too? Is it still not enough? Am I not enough? Is it not? Can I not save Britain? Is there no Britain that can be mine? Peace. Equality. I never should have tried for either. How dare they? How dare they? I will never forgive them. Ever!
I was born in this Britain over 3,000 years ago. I defeated every calamity I faced until today. But I was always hated afterward. Never praised. Never loved. Then one day, after I awoke from the latest of so many hibernations I've been forced to undergo to hide from the fairies, I finally understood. My enemy wasn't just the calamities. It was the fairies of Britain as well. They were pure and innocent in the first truest sense. They enjoyed both good and evil things alike without losing either that purity or innocence. They are, at their core, no different than those loathsome humans who drove me from Britain. So I crushed every possible source of malice, vested interest, discrimination, oppression, envy, mockery, all of it. I tore out every weed to prevent malice from taking root, and all with their knowledge and consent. Maybe not every fairy agreed, but by and large, they understood what I did would create a better future and supported it. But just enough malice remained. A few fairies took one look at the foundation of peace so many had worked so hard to build, and tore apart because they didn't like it, because they could. I give up. If even all this had failed, if it's all come to nothing, then I can never believe in people's so-called goodness, nor even understand it. Even if I did, what would be the point? Everything I did, everything I worked for, was just a waste of time. After all, the times they betrayed me, I should have known better, but I still clung foolishly to a sliver of hope. And now, because I wasted my time caring about something so utterly absurd, I failed yet again. If my intent is to keep Britain alive, if that's what I wanted, then I was a fool to think being its savior was the way to accomplish it. No more. I will find another way. A better way.
That's it. I won't deliver the fairies' absolution. I won't deliver salvation. Enough of this fairy of paradise, of being Avalon LaFay. I should have ruled this land from the start.
There she is! It's A.S. the Agitator! Capture her alive! The clan heads have ordered that she be made to stand trial.
Wait! Stop! I'm not Ask! I'm not! But wait. Who am I? Who am I?
I heard a fairy screaming in the distance. She wasn't me. She was the one who sold us out to the clan heads. I used my magecraft to erase her memories and make her look like me. Once again, everyone will believe A.S. the Savior is dead. This time, she won't come back. Why concern myself with the calamities? I can't be bothered to stop every little act of destruction. I have a more important task to focus on in 400 years, before the next great calamity arrives.
We have emptiness. A needle made on a foreign planet to close the seam in the universe. I already know how it works. is beautifully designed, but that is of no consequence to me. Take the rest of the universe for all I care, Celestial Spear, for Britain is mine. I'm going to end this cosmic fantasy and make my own dream come true. No more of this Lostbelt what if absurdity. I will make my Britain real, even if I must stitch it to the fabric of this planet myself. Londinium is destroyed. The Savior has no doubt been executed in Salisbury by now. Hector has already gone his own way. It is only us heading to Orkney. You were right all along, Mash. Our whole pilgrimage was for nothing.
What? No, that's not.
Please, don't look so sad. I've grown used to this. Besides, everything, all of this, even the conversation we're having now, is merely a hypothetical the Tree of Emptiness is creating. It doesn't matter what we do. The Fair Era is going to end, and the era of the High Queen will begin. Ajax failure was probably inevitable. I just couldn't handle the way things ended. That's all.
Ask.
Londinium is destroyed. Ajax is executed, and the first Tamlin goes to Orkney along with her coffin. That's how the Savior's tale ended in the era of the High Queen you came from. So we need to make sure that's exactly how things turn out, or there'll be paradoxes when you wake up. The Fair Era will last for 400 more years, then in its 12,000th year. The next great calamity will destroy everything, and the end of a High Queen will begin without a Tree of Emptiness. Once the era of the High Queen begins, you will be unable to act as Mash until after the calamity of Norwich in 2019. If you do anything at all as Mash, the world will see you as a paradox from the Fae Era and erase you.
I see. So the moment I was sent into the Fae Era with the water mirror, I was bound to live out the rest of my life in it. And to get back to the time I came from, I need to be inside a quantum coffin.
That's right. Even though we know how ray shifting works, we can't travel through space-time without a coffin. That is probably exactly why Morgan only sends calamities back in time to the Fae Era. The Fae Era can tolerate a few inconsistencies. As long as the era of the High Queen remains intact, nothing else matters to her. I doubt she cares at all about the suffering and great calamities she sent back to the Fae Era will cause. Besides, to be perfectly honest, I knew how this was going to turn out. Even if he had never come from the future to make it clear, I've always known the Savior will fail.
Huh? So, you already knew that the Fae Era would end and the era of the High Queen would follow it?
No, that part. I did not know. But by the year you came from AD 2019, or 14,019 in Fae Era terms, Britain would already be destroyed. That's what happened in the first Lostbelt Britain, the real one. But I didn't like that, so I came to the Fae Era from the future, like you. From my perspective, this has always been the second version of this world. So now that you're here, I suppose you could call it the third. Or maybe it's just a slightly different take on the second, since we kept the basic chain of events the same.
Can I ask you something? Does that mean your real name is...
Oh, good. It looks like Tudorat found us a small boat. Come on, let's go, Mash. That is Galahad, first of the Tamlin. That is your name. Now that you are going into the coffin. Have you said your goodbyes to Tudorat? I see. So she made a promise to you. I think I better explain something to you, Galahad. When the Fae Era transitioned to the era of the High Queen, all the information that was added in this new second version of the world will be erased. The era of the High Queen will be a continuation of the events from the original second version. The first and new second versions will never have existed. The only thing that will carry you over is you, sleeping in this coffin. In 400 years, when the era of the High Queen has begun, I don't think even I will remember you. More precisely, I will become the second version of myself once again. So if a fairy were to try and bring memories from this new second version into the era of the High Queen, then the world would perceive that fairy as a foreign element. A being who was never part of the second version's Fate era.
You mean it'll be as though she never existed in this history?
I do my best to prevent that from happening. As far as Noah perceives the contradiction in history, she should still be able to exist. No trouble. I already intended to have you forget everything I'm about to tell you for as long as you remain in Britain anyway. Listen to me closely, Galahad. What I'm about to tell you now is for after you wake up from your slumber. If you and Chaldea should succeed at excising Morgan's very Britain, then the battle that awaits you in the next Lostbelt will be the same as the one I face. It will be a battle to make peace with your own heart. A battle to understand life itself. As good as your reason to fight have been, you've lacked the will to do so. You may not have been aware of it, but you've been thinking of the power to hurt others, to hurt the world, as something bad. Consequently, you've been running from it. But everyone has the ability to cause harm, and a responsibility that comes with it. It isn't that humans want to do good. They just keep choosing things that they think they will give them the best possible future. And there's no right answer in those choices, no matter how many people they may end up saving. Since there are no right answers, you must decide for yourself what to protect and what you will fight against Galahad. You will come to know many hearts and minds, and all will be different. Some will try to understand, some will refuse to give up. Some will be accepting, some will refuse to succumb to hate. Some will try to shake her off, some will refuse to be corrupted or influenced. But no matter how wonderful a person may be, they will never have a heart free of conflict. Every heart has its battle to fight. Please, try to stop running from that. Because when the hole in your heart is filled with the reason to fight that's all your own, then Galahad will once again entrust you with all of his power. No heart is free of conflict, no matter what sort of person you are. That's right. You'll probably have forgotten this by the time you wake, but when the time comes, I will make sure you remember. Though even I can't say whether you'll become someone different, like I did, or if you'll remain yourself as you continue to grow. This is goodbye. Oh, one final thing. You should know that even if you should meet me after you wake up, I won't know you. I may think of the coffin I left here after you are caught up in the water mirror in Norwich. I may even realize what it all means. But I'm quite sure that the me you meet then will no longer be Aesk. Thank you so much for everything, Aesk. Even if you knew how things were going to turn out, I still think your journey did this name Savior justice. Well, sure. We gave it all we had, didn't we? Farewell, brave knights of the future. In light of your achievements, I'll let you in on a secret. Aex the Savior isn't my real name. My adopted mother gave it to me after Orkney was destroyed. My true name is Morgan. I'm Avalon the Fae, the fairy of paradise who washed up here from the planet's inner sea to save Britain. I'm also King Arthur's arch-enemy, the witch who destroyed our Britain in proper human history. That is the name of the Lostbelt king who awaits you in the distant future. The one Chaldea must defeat.
I see. The ice. It's breaking. Be free! You crying? Huh. Whoa, I've got you, Mash. Is this
Orkney? Ah, I think I was just told something very important.
Are you awake now?
Then, why?
Yeah, it's me. Welcome back, Mash. For good this time.
Right. I'm back, Senpai. I've been on a very, very long journey. There are so many things I want to tell you. There's Sheffield, the Fey Era, and Aesk the Savior, the one who sent me back here.
And so, at long last, she and Sopras were reunited. Finally free from the coffin, he took her in his arms and held her tight. They embraced warmly, but quietly, each treasuring the other's presence. Upon seeing this heartwarming and eye-searing sight, I found myself letting out a sigh of relief and disappointment. The mage from the world of humans. A young man upon whom others placed a crushing burden, regardless of how he felt about it. Sure, he isn't perfect. He lied, obfuscated, and made plenty of mistakes. But it was also abundantly clear that he was doing his best to hide his dissatisfaction, no matter how much he tried to cover it up. That's why I couldn't help but come with him all this way. But now, I can see he has a true friend. One he really cares about. That's great. It makes sense, really. He would never have made it this far if he hadn't put his trust in others. Of course, I should have known that he and I were nothing alike. Alright, let's finish this and call it off.
That's everything I experienced here in Britain. Sum up, there have been 2 iterations of the Fey Eras. Aex, the Savior, has been alive for 6,000 years, and she's also actually Queen Morgan. And while Aex wasn't capable of it, as Queen Morgan, she's able to reshift things. Finally, Aex also referred to herself as the Fairy of Paradise. Does any of that help?
Definitely. If nothing else, I now have a pretty good idea as to how the era of the High Queen, that is, the current era of Fairy Britain, came about. You do? I didn't get it all. My only thought after hearing all that was, I guess Japan ain't the only island nation whose people had nothing better to do than fight each other. Believe me, that's got nothing to do with being islands. It's pretty much the same in Europe. Wherever there are territorial, religious, and/or class differences, you're going to get war. That said, since an island nation obviously doesn't have to worry about invaders as much thanks to its lack of adjoining land, that warfare does inevitably end up being waged among its own people. But even so, there's something off about this Britain. Sure, it's had more than its share of problems, like the lack of land, lack of humans, and a different ethnic group taking up residence in the form of the Northern Fairies. But even so, they should have been able to put aside their differences and come together as a nation sooner. And yeah, it sounds like there was no end of war all during the Fey era, no matter how many times the Savior smoothed things over. Do you know what the cause of that constant discord was so fast? The calamities? Sorry, but no. Those are definitely one of the main triggers, but there's still a deeper issue at play. That's right. The Fairy of Paradise, Avalon the Fae. In addition to her clan's turf war, their main dispute was what to do about her. Their opinions were split right down the middle. But before we get into that, I think we better clear up what exactly the Fairy of Paradise is. Isn't that right, Artoria? Go on then. It's about time you told them the duty you've known about the duty you were given when you were born. Easy, Grimmer. You don't have to be that hard on her.
You mean I didn't tell you already? That's weird. Guess it slipped my mind. Okay, I can tell you now then. It's not like it's any big secret after all. As you can probably guess from the name, the Fairy of Paradise is a fairy that was sent here from Avalon, the planet's inner sea. The beauty part though, that's a little vague. When I was born, I heard a voice telling me, venture into Britain and right its wrongs. That's it. That's all I got. I think it must have been the same for my predecessor, the Fairy of the Lake. Apparently, the Fairy of Paradise is a star seed that washed up on Earth's surfaces from paradise. If she's lucky enough to take root on the surface, she then becomes an infant of sorts, and keeps growing like a human until she reaches her mature form. Most fairies seem to either love her or hate her for that. Morgan, must have been a star seed when she washed up in Orkney all those years ago. The Rain Clan's leader then raised her as a daughter, which ultimately led to Orkney being destroyed. In my case, I'm guessing I first washed up in the Lake District, after which the Mirror Clan leader threw me out to sea. It was probably sheer luck that the fairies of Tintagel found and rescued me.
So, the clan saw the Fairy of Paradise as their enemy?
Well, yes, but not all of them. If nothing else, the head of the Rain Clan raised Morgan like she was her own daughter.
So that also led to the other clans putting aside their differences just to wipe them out. It's the upper class fairies with the most prominent bloodlines who most hate and fear the Fairy of Paradise. And that's because they don't want her to form a new clan? I don't think that's it. We've already got the King clan coming in to kind of replace the Rain clan, after all. So seeing how they've been clan changeovers before, I guess it takes more to inspire that kind of hatred. Right on. Remember what we said about outsiders before? That's right. The Fairy of Paradise may be a fairy, but she's not a British fairy. As far as the clans are concerned, both Morgan and Artoria are invaders from a foreign land. Well, more specifically, they see them as the Isle's rightful heirs. The Rain Clan heard the voice of Paradise and decided to follow the Fairy of Paradise. They believed Morgan was truly meant to be the Isle's king. For them, the pilgrimage was probably a ritual meant to return Britain to its rightful king. But the other clans, Wind, Earth, Fang, and Wing, refused to accept that. Instead, they all banded together to destroy the Rain Clan and their hometown of Orkney. Right, that's the fall of Orkney that took place in Fate Era 4000. But the Fairy of Paradise survived that attack and began a journey to save Britain under the name Aesk. Yup, that was probably the key point. How do you mean? Let's go over the whole timeline briefly to make sure we're all on the same page. I hope you don't mind, Artoria, but it'll make things easier for us if we use the BC method of counting. 12,000 BC, the British Lostbelt, a world comprised solely of fairies, comes into existence. 11,000 BC, this is probably when the first great calamity struck. 6,000 BC, Britain's landmass grows out as far as what we call Scotland. The southern fairies encountered the northern fairies, who had been living off the woods formed on Albion's remains, and the War of Spring begins. After the war, the Rain Clan and Mirror Clan built their own kingdoms where the war was fought. 4000 BC, the Fairy of Paradise washes up at Orkney, which is summarily destroyed by the Clan Alliance. 2000 BC, the northern fairies arrive on British soil once again from Ireland to the west. This leads to the War of Summer, which would have wiped out the clans if Aex hadn't stepped in to broker peace. The northern fairies are then welcomed into Britain as a new clan, the King clan. 400 BC, the War of Autumn, the Round Table, a group of humans and human sympathizers begin an armed uprising in the name of peaceful coexistence. This leads to Uther, a human knight, being recognized by the clans as the first king of Britain. But then, in Londinium, on the day of Uther's coronation, a group of insurrectionists destroys the Round Table. Uther is poisoned, Aex is executed, and the savior is never seen in Britain again. And finally, we come to 1 BC. The year of great calamity wipes out most of the fairies in Britain and puts an end to the Fae era. That's a rough timeline of major events of the Fae era based on all the information we have so far. So, what's this key point you mentioned? What else? Point where the timeline diverges into a first and second version. In the first version, the original timeline, the fairy of paradise must have been killed in Orkney during a massacre in 4000 BC. In that timeline, Britain experienced a number of catastrophes, and in 1 BC, it ultimately became a completely dead wasteland. There may have still been a few straggling survivors, but the land would never again gain the numbers it needed to flourish as a sea. I guess that's for the next 2,000 years or so. It became a vast wasteland where lower class fairies were just barely able to eke out a subsistence level existence. With nothing in the way of civilization. But if the fairy of paradise survives the attack in 4000 BC, then we get the fairy Britain we know now, huh? Gotcha. So she really is protecting Britain, at least technically. That's right. Over 90% of the fairy population was wiped out by the great calamity of 1 BC. That's when the death they incurred at Londinium finally caught up to them. It all happened on an unprecedented scale. There was the calamity of the beast, which devoured the fairy city. There was a calamity of the beast, which devoured the fairy cities, and a calamity of the flame, which razed everything to the ground. According to the first Grimmer's notes, those are the two calamities that ended the British Lostbelt. However, we still don't know how she did it, but it was after that all went down that Morgan began a new era. She must have used a spell powerful enough to wither the whole damn tree of emptiness. That was when she stopped the British Lostbelt from ending there and revived it as Fairy Britain. Yup, when she did, the fairies who'd nearly been driven to extinction came back as their next generation successors. And just a few months later, things were back to normal, with the clans at each other's throats again. That was when an invader appeared, one that had all the fairies quaking in their boots. It came from Orkney, Britain's long-forgotten north, and storms came with her. Once again, the fairies banded together to try and kill her, but she was far stronger than all of them combined. And so, the invader dominated all of Britain's fairies herself, and built the castle of Camelot beside the pit as a sign of her dominance. That invader was Morgan, and the war her invasion began was the War of Winter. This is the event that ushered in the first year of the era of the High Queen, or 1 AD in proper human history. But, so what? However, she might have ended up there. Morgan's still a threat to proper human history and must be stopped. So, as another fairy of paradise like her, you're the only one who can defeat her and return Britain to the way it should be.
Right. I guess so. Oh, what do you think, Mash? Do you want to fight Morgan?
I did think of Ask. I mean, Queen Morgan as a friend. But I'm still willing to fight her. I promised Bogart, Rob, Wag, Winky, and so many others that I would save the fairies of Britain. I will try talking to her first, of course. But if she won't listen, and fighting is our only option, then I won't hold back. I may be Ask the Savior's friend, but I'm not one of Queen Morgan's knights.
Right. Of course. Man, she's so responsible.
Are you done talking now? Then hurry up and ring the bell so we can get back to Britain already. I don't know about you guys, but I've had enough of this cold. Plus, the others are probably worried about us. Oh, right. Habitat. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't catch your name. Trot, was it? You must be one of the fairies who've been helping Senpai out on his journey here. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
but you really don't have to be so formal. I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Huh? Habitrot?
What's there to say? This is how it is. I mean, when did I say she and I were friends? Or even acquaintances? I'm just a guide, that's all. And now that my job's done, I can go back to taking it easy. Huh? I mean, sure, you did just kind of show up out of nowhere. And even though you've been great about keeping Sophia Spirit up, we never did learn much about you. So, why did you do all this? And how do you already know Grimmer? Oh, that? He and I met here for a long time ago. Right, Grimmer? This was all part of your plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I probably did plan all this. Nice job, Habitrot. Now everything's wrapped up nice and neat.
See? I might just be a weak, lower-class fairy, but I'm worried about Fairy Britain too. Now, go on and ring the bell, Child of Prophecy. Once you do that, you'll finally be on level ground with Morgan. Alright. I'm still not entirely sure what's going on, but I can't say no to those eyes. Song of Paradise, voice of the inner sea. You who were born to be selected, to decide the fate of this land, and to see justice done. Bells of the bones of Inception shall show you the way. Forgive us these sins.
Man, going back was way easier than getting there.
Then I take it we're headed to Edinburgh next, like we discussed in Orkney?
Yup, we gotta go talk to Knocknap Riaba. Last time, she wouldn't even give us the time of day.
But now, Artoria's the leader of the Round Table Army, and she's rung 4 of the bells of pilgrimage. Between that and the fact that she and Knocknap Riaba are old friends, she should be more than willing to negotiate with us. Right, Artoria? Huh? Wait, are we at the Ashen Shore?
Everything okay?
Oh, I see. We already made it back. I guess I zoned out. So, did the bell ring like it's supposed to? Am I any different now?
Don't worry. The bell rang nice and loud, and your spirit urge is definitely stronger. You might still be no match for Morgan, but no ordinary fairy stands a chance against you anymore.
Yup. Knocknap Riaba shouldn't have any issue with forming an alliance with us now. So let's march right up to Edinburgh and get this anti-Queen coalition underway.
Yeah.
Anti-Queen coalition, huh? True. If Knocknap Riaba were willing to join us, they have enough of an army to give us a fighting chance. But Queen Morgan's been protecting Britain all on her own for 2,000 years, right? I honestly don't know if I can even look someone so amazing in the eye. I really hope I can do this.
Yes. Who's third skill upgrade? At the lake, AX. Right. That third skill upgrade looks kind of like shit anyway, because you may be sacrificing, like, apply death after one turn. Apply sacrifice to the world tree state. Apply gut one time. And significantly MP Guards when Guts is activated one time for yourself. Offer yourself as sacrifice. Man. Jeez. That looks kind of a bit of a harsh way to bully for that coupon caster. Anyway, I'm done for that. We'll continue on for more journey for these Avalon Lit Bay. We're about quarter way done for these Act 2. So I'll see you guys in the next part of that live stream for FGL Avalon Lit Bay. So peace out and have a good night.